Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Star Ocean 5.
So, I have basically I tried to start up the stream and it said that I had 30 seconds elapsed, and I hadn't actually started yet because the way that it handles elapsed time is really dumb. At any rate, so we have I clicked on critical combatant while it was active before. So this is some new skill that some new role that we've learned, which looks like it'll increase crit rate to 100% if capped out. So we're gonna want to slap that on somebody. I guess I might as well slap it on him. Excuse me. I guess I don't really need ace. It's not super important, I don't think. So where's my crit thing? The ace thing is perfectly fine, and it's nice that it caps out at 7, actually. But that's fine. I do feel like attacker is kind of redundant in the face of other abilities. Maybe you would want to have that in addition to like on a full-on aggro character. Like maybe that would be useful, but at any rate, we're heading to the bridge for now because we don't have any party members.
The Kronos fleet's about to enter normal space. They'll be within Fate Creed 4's orbital trajectory in 5 minutes.
Understood. They're emissaries, so we'll welcome them as we would any diplomat. Put him on screen. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. President. We have yet to receive any transmission from Central Command.
There's no need for you to apologize. These things often do take time.
I appreciate it.
Captain, there's an incoming transmission from Central Command.
Put them on. Commander Dean, I'm pleased to report that the President has already arrived in our sector.
I see. President Mutal. It's been quite some time.
Yes, it certainly has, Commander Dean.
They have the same salute.
Allow me
Nothing
to
strange.
dispense with the formalities. The Federation Security Council just finished an emergency session, and I assume both you and Captain Kenny are anxiously awaiting the results.
Please.
Based on Captain Kenny's report, along with the logs from his ship, the Council's decision is thus. The Pan-Galactic Federation accepts the Central Kronos government's request for aid. As the representative body of the Pan-Galactic Federation, it is our top priority to ensure that peace is maintained. Thus, while we will indeed provide our resources to you, we recommend the utilization of non-violent methods with the opposition.
We appreciate the help.
However, there is no guarantee that General Alma's faction can be reasoned with peacefully. In such an event, we advocate the use of force to subdue them.
As you wish. We shall endeavor to solve things peacefully, resorting to military action only if that proves fruitless.
Furthermore, the Charles D. Gold is by far the closest Federation vessel to Kronos territory at this time. Not only that, but it also happens to be the fastest ship in our illustrious fleet. Therefore, Captain Kenny, I appoint you as the Federation's official ambassador.
I'll do my utmost to serve fittingly in this new capacity.
One more thing. I will dispatch reinforcements to your destination. It's unlikely, however, that they'll arrive in time. You're on your own in regards to cooperating with the Central Kronos government.
Thanks for the warning, sir.
I have nothing further, Mr. President. But is there anything you would like to add?
I am deeply moved by the extent of your government's generosity.
Very well. Then I shall take my leave. Captain Kenny, do the Federation proud. I'll send the mission details to your ship later. Please make sure you review them. Understood?
Understood.
Dean, over and out.
There you go. I look forward to working with you, Mr. President.
As do I. Now, sorry if this is a bit too forthright, but let me share what we know about the sector in which General Alma is currently hiding.
You already know where he is?
We haven't simply been twiddling our thumbs on the sideline this whole time, you know. There is a certain asteroid belt 300 light-years from Kronos Station 4, and it is there that the rebel faction has clandestinely erected its hideout. Let me send you the data we have on it.
If we know where they are, I say we start heading there this instant.
Very well. We'll send a fleet of ships from the Kronos governmental forces in the meantime. They ought to be able to rendezvous with us once we enter opposition territory.
Do you know how many ships there are in the rebel fleet?
A dozen or so. But the real problem isn't their numbers, it's their firepower. They have all our most advanced battle cruisers at their disposal.
Sounds like we'll need to fight tooth and nail to win.
Either way, our ship will follow dutifully behind you.
May we come out of this on top, sir. Kenny, over and out. Engines to half power. Once we leave this trajectory, cruise at warp 14 to the coordinates the President set.
Yes, sir. Engines at half until we leave trajectory. Then cruise at warp 14 until destination.
It'll be a while until we arrive. So do what you will in the meantime.
One thing that I find interesting about like the Star Ocean series is that everyone in the Star Ocean series is so Japanese. And it might seem like a strange sentiment because it is a Japanese game, but it's a sci-fi game. And like if you look at Star Trek, you have all these like very distinct mannerisms that the different races have. In addition to like the makeup and stuff, they all have very specific cultural like elements to them. Whereas in this, everybody has the same salute. Everyone, you know, bows. And I think that the depth that president was bowing was actually like important, because he actually bowed so deeply that he bowed beneath the screen. How deep you bow is, it's culturally important in Japan. It has to do with your status relative to the person that you're bowing to, as well as a variety of other factors, right? But so anyway, so I don't trust this guy. I think he was bowing too deeply, which to me, for a president, when bowing to some random person in another fleet, either it can indicate one of two things, because the Federation is the larger entity, so it could mean that he's like legitimately been cowed, but like the other guy didn't find it strange, which I find strange, because it's like it's like, imagine the Queen of England like bowing. It's not something that she does, or curtsying, but I think bowing is probably more appropriate because she's the queen. But I might just be reading way too much Terry Pratchett. In Terry Pratchett, the witches don't curtsy, they bow. Anyway, they're much too important to curtsy. But let's see here, what am I thinking? So anyway, I don't trust this guy. The whole thing there felt a little off, and I'm not sure, like the fact that he's coming with, all of it feels very, very, like it's way too lapdog-ish. So I don't trust it.
Transmission incoming. I don't know. It says the source is unidentified. Should we pick up?
Yes, on screen.
I'm so glad you decided to come, Captain Kenny.
Well, if it isn't General Alma himself.
How fortuitous that you live. For now my wish to face you in battle can be granted.
We've been dispatched as official ambassadors of the Federation. We wish to negotiate peace, not fight.
negotiate peace? The Federation? Is that supposed to be a joke? Well, do you see me laughing?
It's true that I'd like to settle this without resorting to violence.
You browbeat us into signing away our sovereignty, and now you have the gall to demand our unconditional surrender with a straight face? When will this farce ever end?
We formed this alliance for the sake of preserving peace. None of the Federation's members would ever force you to join it against your will.
That's mere semantics. No matter. The time for debate has passed. Federation's nothing more than a government-run gang. Consequently, I have no qualms about using it as a guinea pig for our new space-time symbology. First, I'll slaughter you and the traitors who sold our homeworld. Then you know what I'll do? Use your corpses to fuel a beacon for a new Kronos!
What a shame we couldn't work things out.
I have a message for the stripling who fancies himself guardian to my test subject. Whet your proverbial blade, for you're about to see whose symbology is truly the greatest.
I'm not a symbologist, so yours?
What a grand gesture from the General. And see to it that President Mutal's flagship gets the transmission records and data analysis.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't want to go into analysis if he's about to talk.
I estimate that it'll take around 16 hours to reach the asteroid belt where General Alma is hiding. No matter how we end up settling this conflict, it'll be settled by sometime tomorrow. I recommend you rest while you can.
Alright, so one thing that's kind of interesting here is that the guy basically said the Federation forced us to join with like a join or die kind of thing. And then Kenny responds with it was a whatchamacallit? It was a treaty to preserve peace. And then the guy responds with, that's just semantics. The interesting thing, it is exactly a semantic bullshit kind of thing to twist the wording. Because if you have a superpower and then some dinky little country, right? And there's the threat of war, there's no threat to the superpower. That's not a threat to them, right? But it means the utter annihilation of the smaller power. So if a large power is threatening war against a small power, it means something very different than if two powers that are on equal footing are posturing for war. Because the weaker power pretty much has to just kowtow to the strongest power's demand. And if they don't, then, I mean, we've seen what happens historically, is that the smaller power ceases to exist, right? The power in this case meaning the actual government of that entity, and it gets replaced with whatever type of government the conquerors put there, right? So it's kind of interesting because he's actually right. If the Federation was posturing with like war-like intent, then I mean, keeping the peace in this case is just like pushing people around. It's not, there's nothing peaceful about it. It's basically just saying, well, either I pull this button and you die, or you sign this piece of paper. And that's like British style colonialism, right? That's the way that colonialism worked in the British Empire, is you either sign this piece of paper or we go to war, and because we are much, much, much bigger than you and have dramatically superior technology, you will be annihilated. And we will basically take this piece of paper, throw it out the window, and replace it with something that is way worse for you. And that's basically the way that, like, colonialism works. So anyway, it's a very interesting thing that
In front of the turbo lift.
the Federation is not being indicated to be a particularly benevolent. Like, that conversation doesn't make the Federation look terribly benevolent. And what else is interesting is it now brings, remember what I've said earlier about how everyone seems to be Japanese, even like the other like nations, or the other like completely separate, different species, no real connection with the Terrans. They still have all the same mannerisms. It seems strange that they would give the same salute as the Federation officers. But it actually makes a lot of sense when you think of it from the context of this very large power that really is not a benevolent power, and then this very small power where the very small power is going to bend over backward to try and protect itself from this larger power. And so adopting the cultural behaviors of the larger power is a survival mechanism. So good to know that colonialism is alive and well in
You're always
the
handling
Star
a
Ocean
bunch of
universe.
different machines, aren't you?
It's part of my job.
Could I maybe try that one out? Please? Pretty please?
I'm sorry. As much as I would like to, the rules...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's okay then, I won't pester you anymore. I'll be as great as you someday, Anne. Just you wait.
What rules? There's no way that you can claim that it's like the UP3.
Mr. Delacroix, you really need to build up your strength.
Why are you trying to teach me swordsmanship?
Wouldn't this sort of thing work better with 2 students? Both of you are in the military, so you have a knack for it. Keep training, and you'll be fine swordsmen.
I've got a knack for it?
Weren't you just complaining about this a moment ago? I'll be as thorough as possible with you.
Thorough, huh? This confirms my suspicions.
Who said that? Oh, she's hiding. Are you stalking Victor now? Enough chit-chat. Okay, we're gonna just swap to another room, then swap back in.
We'll meet in front of the turbo lift. How did you like Fake Read?
Its environs are pristine and the scenery exquisite.
I see. But I heard the nations of Fake Read are presently at war with each other.
The seeds of conflict can be sown anywhere, it would seem.
We must let them reap their own harvest, though, no matter how much we want to interfere.
Yes, sir. I shall keep that in mind.
Also, please make sure Captain Kenny doesn't interfere with any local females.
That's a great idea. I'll be sure to keep a close eye on him, sir.
It's very interesting. I still don't understand how it is that after, like, a group has started a war, it seems like it's the UN's job to get in and put a stop to it.
You like it when someone does Gucci Gucci goo on your feet, don't you? What? Not in a million years. It tickles. But even though your mouth says no, your heart means yes, right? Wait a sec. Who taught you that nonsense? It was Emerson, wasn't it? Who else could it be? He's gonna be missing teeth when I get through with him. Miki, you're scary.
No. Whoever taught you that is scary. That person is a very scary person. Do not listen to them and run very far away from them. It's one thing with, like, you know, tickling. Like, tickling is... You know, tickling is... Now that I think about it, tickling is a very bad thing for, like, training people into bad ideas. Because tickling is really the only thing in the world where, like, you have, like, a biological system forcing you to say no when you're enjoying yourself, right? At, like, up to a point, everyone has a threshold. But, like, I think it's the only thing that's actually the case for.
Can I ask what kind of work you usually do?
I provide scientific and technical support, but I also do combat training during peacetime. I am in the military, after all.
You must be the highest of the high-ranking.
I just have a special job, that's all. Captain Kenny's the truly elite one.
What? You're telling me that old Captain Kenny is an elite person in your country?
He may not look it, but the captain comes from one of the most highly respected families around.
You don't say. A respected family.
That old pervert. That is such an interesting comment. I keep expecting the sky to turn blue, but it keeps staying black. That is...
So, First Officer, how's the hunt for a bride coming?
I thought she was
What
the
about
first
that
officer.
cute officer you said you went out to eat with the other day? No good, I take it. In that case, not to worry. I'll introduce you to another girl.
Captain?
Yeah?
Please give it a rest.
It says Clueless Cupid. I'm curious what's going on with that. Like, I'm curious whether he's just not interested in dating, or whether maybe he's like gay or something. Like, the reason that I say that is just because of the Clueless Cupid thing, because it implies that, like, Emerson is missing something, like, fundamental, and I'm trying to think of what that would be. I legit don't know.
Wrong?
Well, the board you taught me how to use is no longer working.
Were you looking for something?
I was looking for training halls.
Well, we have a training room.
Can you be so kind as to show me the way? I don't want to break this again.
How could anyone look at that spinning light and not have their head swim?
I forgot to tell you, First Officer, but I've detected a ghost on this planet.
Captain, I've been monitoring the planet on a regular basis. I know you're kidding.
Mm-hmm. It's a female with rockin' knockers, and she's so beautiful she'll make your eyes pop after her.
What?
Oh. I mean, don't bother telling me more. I couldn't care less.
No need to lie.
Okay, so he's not gay. I don't know what the Clueless
I'm
Cupid thing is
not.
about.
Please, just do your job. Rocking knockers, huh?
One thing that is actually interesting, and this is actually really important, is that Captain Kenny is not doing his job as a commander appropriately. Because as the commander, he basically creates the tone for his ship. And the kind of language that he's using is the kind of stuff where, you know, people who are on even footing who, you know, they're all having a good time, they're all, you know, enjoying themselves. Totally fine, right? Like, people can talk about that kind of stuff, they can make jokes about that kind of stuff.
It moved.
What moved?
It's embarrassing to have to talk to the air to get things to work.
But if you're the commander, it's a totally different thing. There's something that was actually kind of interesting where in the Dragon Age series, you basically are wandering around and, you know, you have these party members and you can have romance subplots with these party members. And one of the things about that is that almost all of those romantic subplots are pretty much initiated by the player. Now, in Dragon Age 1 and pretty much Dragon Age 2 as well, you don't have like a position of authority, you're just some random person. I mean, technically you have a position of authority, but not in any meaningful context. There's no meaningful like authority system that's keeping that in place. But in the third Dragon Age, you're the leader of the Inquisition. And so all of a sudden, all of those dialogue options are sexual harassment. Like, all of those dialogue options instantaneously are like, holy shit, like, I'm the commander of this, it's literally called the Inquisition. You don't fuck with something called the Inquisition. It is completely inappropriate for me to be saying this to one of my subordinates, right? And so it was kind of interesting because, like, in most of those games, like, the romance options feel a little bit more, like, reasonable, but most of them fell really hard in that one.
Failed at cleaning up.
Well, it's not often you hear of people thoroughly failing at something like that.
If it fails the first 3 times, try 100 times.
What exactly is that about?
It's something my mentor used to say. He'd use it whenever an experiment of mine failed. What he meant was that 2 or 3 failures could still fall within the margin of error.
And if you fail 100 times, try 1,000,000 times, right? I'll keep trying.
Good luck.
It's not really how experimentation works.
Sorry.
An experiment is a failure if you fuck it up. It's not a failure if you get a negative result. If you get a result that you don't want, that's not a failed experiment, that's a successful experiment that has gotten a result that doesn't make you happy.
I'm good. Plus, I need to find some more ideas for my tall plans.
Just please don't drag the rest of us into it, Captain.
Oh, come on. You know you like it.
Not in the slightest.
So anyway, with regards to, like, the things that are appropriate for the commander of a starship to say versus the things that are appropriate for a random person to say, it falls into the same kind of category where the kind of language that he's using is going to create a culture among his people that is tolerant of things that probably it shouldn't be, right? And so that's, like, in a professional context, that's not really appropriate. I think we did end up having a romantic interest that we ended up pursuing. I say pursuing, being pursued by in Dragon Age 3, though. So, you know, I should probably stream that game. It never occurred to me that I could stream those.
Just once, sir.
What?
Huh.
The cook accidentally dropped a bottle of alcohol.
No booze with dinner?
The spill corrupted a digital image of the cook's daughter. He then set to restoring the data and couldn't finish dinner.
No dinner? This is terrible! I can't believe it! What should we do?
Settle for a machine-cooked meal.
Okay. Machines can probably, like, in this kind of setting, machines can probably cook things way better than people can. I just saw recently, there's news on the machine learning front, which is that like the top Dota 2 players in the world, the top solo mids rather, were basically facing off in 1v1 Shadow Fiend matchups with a new AI, and the new AI crushed them.
We'll meet in front of the turbo lift.
Just completely crushed them. And it's very interesting because I was watching a video and one of the players was describing how it was like the thing was using strategies that weren't being used by professional players, that as soon as they saw the machine doing it, they understood what it was doing and why it was doing it, and they were thinking, why the hell aren't we doing this? So, like, machine learning has improved a lot, and cooking is fundamentally not that complicated. So,
yes, indeed. Are you gonna get her something?
I mean, she saved me when I got hit by those gleaming sticks. So, I would like to pay her back sometime, if I can.
I see.
Despite the aura she puts off, Anne likes cute things, right? That's why I was thinking of getting her a handkerchief embroidered with a cat.
I bet she'll love it. You know, I saved you too, so what'll you be getting me as a present?
I'll think of something good, just wait.
I can barely contain myself.
that takes on a whole new meaning when he says it. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I can't save during PAs. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. What was I talking about? I'd been talking about the other thing. I don't know. I lost track of my train of thought, sorry. Moving right along. I don't know. But if I do the Dragon Age series, it would be kind of nice to sort of go through the whole thing. And I'll need to figure out what characters I want to use
in front of the turbo lift.
If I do that. Because you need to use 3 different characters, obviously.
We're technically on duty, sir, so I don't think you should be doing...
Excuse me.
We're already breaking a treaty. By comparison, this is a drop in the bucket.
You should still lay off the alcohol.
You need to lighten up. Besides, this planet's drinks are top-notch. You know what they say, where there's humanity, there's alcohol.
As you wish. Just don't forget your regularly scheduled transmission with Commander Dean in 10 minutes.
That's in 10 minutes? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Uh-oh.
This Emerson guy is really not impressive. Like, it feels to me that the only way that he got this position is his family's connections. Like, I haven't seen any evidence that he's good at pretty much anything.
We'll meet in front of the
so, I guess the one thing that he's good at is making sure that he keeps a much more talented subordinate at his side at all times.
I never imagined this mission would be so important.
I'm thoroughly surprised too.
It must be rough to get stuck with this as your first mission.
It was a good learning experience.
Was. It's still too early to use the past tense. Stay alert if you want to survive.
I'll try my absolute best, sir.
Instructor? Does that increase the XP gain? Yes, it does. Okay, so we'll slap that on someone. We should slap that on Relia. We're doing it. We're putting instructor on Relia. I think it'll be hilarious. But yeah, that'll be useful. I mean, it would be much more useful if I'd gotten it substantially earlier. I think I probably could have, too. I probably could have done that the first time that I unlocked PAs in this place. I think that I'm way behind in the PAs for this location.
Geez, why are you so riled up?
What's happened to her is a travesty.
Who, Relia?
Yes. To be dragged from place to place at such a young age, all because you were given symbological powers.
Who knew you had maternal instincts?
Don't try to turn this into some joke.
Sorry.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's not maternal instincts, that's basic human decency. Something that Captain Kenny is, I think, completely unfamiliar with. He really rubs me the wrong way. He's very similar to
We'll meet in front of
the
turbo.
air pirate in God, what's that game called? In one of the Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy not 13. 12, I think. I think it's Final Fantasy 12. The air pirate really rubs me the wrong way.
Captain. Please be more punctual.
Seriously?
You were 12 minutes, 2 seconds late for that rendezvous. 2 minutes, 33 seconds late another time, and 38 seconds late for breakfast today.
Give me a break. 38 seconds doesn't count as late.
If someone were to perform their duty 38 seconds late during an operation, what would you say then?
You win. I'll be more careful.
I don't think that 38 seconds late to breakfast is a important thing. And being during an operation, it doesn't count as being late. It counts as being slow. It's a very different type of... She's making false equivalencies there that maybe if he wasn't drunk, he'd be able to argue back with.
We'll meet in front of the turbo lift.
I am happy that we got this instructor role.
Sorry.
You were late again this morning.
What? I arrived at almost the same time as Victor.
Victor arrived 1 second early. You, on the other hand, were 4 seconds late.
4 seconds is enough for you to get on my case?
Imagine we're in battle. You give an order to change the ship's course, and the crew tarries 4 seconds before acting. Do we survive?
Fine, fine. Jeez, I'm sorry. My bad.
Again with the completely false equivalence. I think she's trolling him. I think that she's trolling him. I think she's just so sick of his bullshit that she's just like... She's like, he's not gonna know that I'm not... that what I'm saying makes no sense. I can say anything to this man. He's incredibly dumb. And so now she's just messing with him.
Okay. We'll meet in front of the turbo lift.
Fakreed is a nice place, isn't it?
It is.
I get the sense that there's something there we forgot about long ago.
Every time I go to an underdeveloped planet, I'm struck by how vastly different the cultures on it are from the last. What every planet does have in common, however, is that they are overflowing with energy from their native life forms. There is still so much we can learn from them.
Agreed. I'm glad we were able to visit this planet.
It's particularly funny that he says that he's struck by like the differences between the cultures, because in this universe they're pretty much all the same. Like they're pretty much all just Japanese. Like I'd say that like culturally the differences between like Federation nations and these underdeveloped planets are smaller than the differences between like real world Japan and real world America. And those two have very, very interconnected cultures. They have, I mean, they speak different languages obviously, but the cultures are actually tied together in some very important ways. So...
Emerson, you can't look Anne in the eye, right?
No, that's not true. Not at all.
I know this one. Here, you'd say Anne has you whipped.
Whoa, who taught you that phrase? Was it Miki? It was Miki, wasn't it?
Emerson, you're scary.
Okay. But yeah, I think that it's more that he knows that Anne is better at everything than he is. And I think that he probably on some level has an awareness that he's actually not suitable for the job that he's doing. Like, I think that there's a pretty decent chance that he does not... that he knows that being the captain is not what he's good at. There's a reason that he was leading the away team. Like, I think he understands that.
I don't know. Should I really go drinking today? Whatever. Let's do it.
Be careful. You can't stop an experiment in motion.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's something my mentor used to say. It means you should think deeply before taking any action.
Well, now that you mention it, it might be a good idea to go easy on my liver.
He'd often give me advice, but he'd often disappear without any warning as well. He might not be the best person to listen to.
He sounds like a great man.
I don't know.
He sounds like a great man. We are now one entity. I'm sorry. Okay, moving right along. So I have a suspicion that you have to get through those PAs with the Anne, what's his name, pairing, the Anne Kirk pairings before you can start moving on to the other people, because they're going to be paired up with the
turbo lift.
people from the ship.
I don't know too many details, but apparently my ancestors were pretty impressive people. I kept hearing the same thing over and over from birth. Don't bring shame upon the great men who came before you. Be respectable like they were. Isn't that lame, though? It's my life. I'm not living it for some dead guys. I have my own goals I want to accomplish. My own dreams. The problem is, once you grow up, you start understanding people's true intentions. It's a pain. Once you know you're in a position to help others, social pressure forces you to, even if you don't need to. There's nothing great about living this way. That's the life of a timid and boring human being. I didn't want to live that way. But that's the way it turned out.
You are an unrepentant douchebag who happens to be weak-willed, and the fact that you are weak-willed is your best characteristic. Yay. I don't want to help other people, but I'm too weak-willed to fight against the social pressure to do so, so I'll just help people. What a lesson.
Okay. We'll meet in front of the turbo lift.
What a lesson.
I feel for you, Anne. I really do. It's gotta be tough looking after that man.
Who? Oh, you mean Captain Kenny?
He's fine when he gets down to business. And he's not commanding anyone, though. He's an irresponsible lecher.
I've learned to live with his foibles. Besides, everyone needs to blow off steam now and again.
That's truly an impressive take on things. You're such an understanding person, Anne.
That's because I respect Emerson. Although, please don't ever tell him that.
I've never seen him actually do anything particularly respectable. Honestly, nothing that he's ever done has implied any degree of skill, talent, or intelligence. He's just... I mean, he's capable of not being a lecher. He's capable of going above what he, like... what's the word? His normal behavior, but he never gets to the point where he's actually like sort of on par with any of the other party members in terms of like just anything meaningful, right? Like he's never as smart as half the cast. He's never, you know, he just doesn't seem to have. He doesn't have a good side, he just has a less bad side. If that makes any sense. So... sorry about that, dropped the mic. Let's see. I don't like Emerson. It's important to note that just because you don't have to like every character. I don't think that Emerson is badly written. I just think that I just don't like him. So there's like a pretty big distinction there between those two things. Okay, well, after this we can't go back to Fake Read. I feel like from a plot standpoint now, it makes no sense to be able to go back there right now anyway, so since we should have already reached the point of no return, let's go to the bridge. Excuse me. And we can continue on. So yeah, you don't have to like characters to think that, you know, they're reasonably well written, and I don't have anything against him as a character. It's just that I think that he's perfectly fine to exist. But I hope that I'm not expected to like him because I don't have to like him. So we've taken our nap. So where am I supposed to go now? Oh, it was also funny that we're going at like warp 14. I have no idea whether I feel like the other ships probably aren't capable of going to warp 14. So don't go dying. So am I supposed to get on the shuttle? I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just sort of wandering. At some point, I'm going to be supposed to get on this shuttle. We'll go back to the private quarters. It clearly triggered something to happen. I'll go back to the transport room, and I'm gonna check the window again, because I might have just missed. Yeah, Miki's in here.
What are you doing here at this hour?
What about you, Fidel?
I just couldn't get to sleep.
Me neither.
I'm trying to get a frontal
You
view
know
of
what?
the two of them, but
We've come so far on this journey.
Yeah. Beyond the sky's pretty far, to say the least.
It's not just the physical distance. We've experienced so many things that no normal Rasulians have. Things we didn't even know were possible. And we've learned even more.
That's true.
I swear, those days we spent hanging out with Ted and Stahl, they seem like they ended many eons ago.
From here, they do seem distant.
Recently, Fidel, I feel like you've been distant too.
I don't think I have.
Yes, you have. Some of it's out of your control, like what's happened with the war and with Feria. But you've set your sights on somewhere far away.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. That makes me sound like the villain here.
Then what do I do?
Stay by my side. For all eternity. I'll never ever forgive you if you try to leave me behind.
All right.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna do my absolute best to save Feria, so you won't mind if I say at least one selfish thing, will you? Please, Fidel. Stay by me.
That's interesting. You don't usually see like that kind of I don't know, honesty. I am curious about that.
Your pathetic policies cannot save Kronos. Why can't you see that you're dooming our people to be Federation slaves?
Starting a civil war serves only to deplete our national resources.
Have you no backbone? A craven fool like you has no right to rule us. There's nothing more here to discuss. All that's left is for us to crush the Federation and Kronos' lapdog government.
I'm sorry I couldn't do better, Captain Kenny.
If we haven't convinced him by now, I doubt we ever will, Mr. President. The only option we have left is to engage them.
Indeed. I knew it would come to this.
In that case, sir, could you please order your ship to retreat to a safe distance? I'm confident we can handle the fighting ourselves.
Thank you. And best of luck.
Captain, 3 of the enemy ships look to be going on the offensive.
Got it. All right, people. Time to get this operation underway. In the name of galactic peace, we are going to head into battle against the rebel Kronos forces led by General Alma. Fidel, your group will do what it needs to help the sisters.
Understood.
Okay. Now open an audio link between our ships and the Kronos governmental forces.
Audio link is now established.
This is Emerson T. Kenny, captain of the Pan-Galactic Federation ship Charles D. Gold. My vessel will serve as the Kronos Governmental Forces flagship, as directed by the Federation's Central Command and Kronos' President Mutal. It's up to every last one of us to ensure Kronos remains at peace, rather than plunges into chaos. So let's go out there and give them hell. Kenny, over and out. Time to get this operation underway.
When he said that this ship is going to serve as the flagship for the Kronos fleet, that just sent shivers down my spine. That is such a creepy thing to say. Like, holy shit. Because this is not a Kronos ship.
Set a course. 90 Mark 135.
What's the damage for both sides?
Our shields deflected the entirety of their attack. No damage to report.
One governmental force ship has been destroyed. Another has taken heavy damage, and 2 more enough to render them inoperable.
Only 1 rebel ship has sustained heavy damage.
Should we pull back and rethink our strategy?
As a soldier, you should know that giving the enemy more time here would be fatal. We can't withdraw now.
Maybe so, but continuing to fight would only increase our losses.
Excuse me, Captain. If I may...
I know that, but it doesn't matter.
We'll have to go right for General Alma then. Feria's the only thing fueling their resistance. Therefore, if we defeat Alma and get her back, they'll lose their reason to fight.
That's easier said than done. Alma's most likely barking orders from the safety of their base, situated on that large asteroid. The shield around it will make an approach impossible.
Actually, it just might be feasible. While we were traveling to this sector, I was able to analyze a portion of the data on space-time symbology we accumulated. I theorized that if Relia were to use her power, we could manipulate space-time in such a way that it neutralizes their shield. With practice, it could likely even disable the whole thing. Her current skills, however, should suffice. We can likely still negate a large enough portion of the shield to pass through. In short, going after Alma directly is well within the realm of possibility.
But I don't know if I can control my powers well enough.
I'll offer what support I can by analyzing her sideways.
Come on, Relia. Let's go save Feria together.
If I can save my sister, I'll try hard to get it right.
Emerson, please get us ready to infiltrate their base.
Can do.
Let's go.
Delacroix, prepare to transport us to the coordinates we got from President Mutal.
Sir, you have a fleet to command. You can't just go running...
Sorry, Delacroix, but General Alma calls. Don't worry. You'll do a great job in my stead, First Officer.
And I also agree with the, I do agree with
That
Emerson
too.
here.
Transporter.
Because I think that Delacroix will probably do a better job
think.
than he would.
If you could succeed at manipulating space-time, completely nullify shields, you'd be invincible.
I assume that is exactly why Kronos was researching the ultimate script in the first place.
For them to engrave something so terrifying on a small girl.
The technology probably won't work unless they use a living being.
Thank God it was Fidel.
What about him?
It's good that he was the one Rilia opened up to out of everyone.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Moving right along. I guess I probably should have set my stuff before I teleported him.
I'm ready when you are.
Go!
Incredible. How'd it go? Think it'll work?
Not right now. Something seems to be disrupting Relia's field.
My sister, she...
It would appear that Feria is creating a field of her own.
Excuse me.
What if we use a shuttle to get closer while Relia has her force field up? Do you think that would help her neutralize Feria's field?
According to the scanner, the field's effects deteriorate quadratically with distance. Thus, the closer Relia is to her target, the more likely she can cancel it out. Still, though, exposing a weaponless shuttle to the enemy's phase cannons is too dangerous.
It may be dangerous, but there's no other way.
I know I can do it. I'm okay.
It looks like the bravest member of our team is also the smallest.
Indeed.
The shuttle's in the cargo bay. Let's hurry. Kenny, to the bridge.
The bridge here.
Need a favor.
As long as it isn't anything absurd.
We're gonna use a shuttle and fly right into the enemy's home base.
Absolutely out of the question. It's too dangerous.
Too bad for you, but...
Oops. I accidentally canceled the thing. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cancel the conversation. I was just trying to get to where I needed to be. I wasn't gonna, you know, zone out. But apparently when you go into the room, it cuts off the comms.
I'll be in charge of the helm.
Who's in? Oh, there it is.
Bridge to the captain.
What?
I've uploaded a projected route to your shuttle. Please take a look at it.
How thoughtful.
You prepared to start, Relia?
You'll have to keep your signaturgy activated the whole time, but can you do that?
I can.
Good girl. You're not alone. We'll get through this together.
Yep.
I'll open the doors for you.
Thanks.
We'll force feed you blackberries. Or we would, but we're not allowing ourselves to use consumables,
We're ready
so
for takeoff.
you'll have to do it with the monobar that you've got.
Our field's about to come in contact with Feria's.
First, concentrate solely on this one finger.
Okay.
Now, sync your breathing with mine.
This is amazing!
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
There's a hole in the shade of the furthest rock back on the right.
He's right.
By all accounts, the thing looks to be a man-made structure.
You have a good pair of eyes on you, Victor.
The King's Chosen often operate at night.
Is this a setup? Let's take the plunge.
I must give you
Alcazar of
credit.
the Golden
It takes talent to break through that space-time symbol barrier we erected. I'm glad I decided to welcome you with open doors. It was worth the wait.
Your generosity is truly boundless.
And now give back Feria!
Ah, so the whelp decided to show up after all. How interesting that he didn't turn tail and run. Now we'll see who the true master of space-time symbology is.
Fine with me.
My cause is just and my victory's assured. History's proof of that. Enjoy your downfall.
Let's go. Feria's waiting.
This guy is completely nuts. I mean... That's really funny. That elemental thing is really... So we can actually buy the Sylvance here, which is a thing we already made. Unfortunately, we can't actually buy any of that stuff because that would be cheating. Okay, so we've got all of our roles learned. So this right here is very, very powerful, and pairing it with Berserker is a good idea. It looks like the people did not lose their stuff that I gave them earlier. So we'll give her Instructor. We'll give her... She doesn't have a normal attack. I guess we'll give her Defensive Devotee. Master Tactician seems like a great plan for the person who... Oh, there's only one roll level for this. Never mind then. That's something that will... That's like a thing to put on when we are ready for it. Basically, when we're focusing on winning as opposed to accumulating skill points and things like that, that's when we want to do that. So it looks like we're probably not going to cap out any of these things naturally. Is that my phone? No. Okay. Drilling inside, and I thought it was my phone vibrating. That's cool looking.
Don't think I'll go
Now my clothes are all dirty.
Okay, so unfortunately we had a character go down, so we're gonna need to spam... Ooh, I got 2 meteorites. not terribly interesting. I need more dragon hide and I need more rivets to make this.
It's done.
I'll make this. If I had to guess, I'd say that this is probably like a lightsaber type thing.
It's done.
So I can make mithril. Okay, before I make anything too big, I think I'm...
Our enemies strike equal to ours.
That was bad. 25,000 damage. Okay, well.
That's how you win battle.
Basically, the entire party just got wiped out. So let's go heal. It's a good thing that happened early. Unfortunately, I don't have the thing that increases the drop rate for machines still because I never ended up getting enough laser oscillators to turn that in. Okay. This is going to be rough. We've got a lot of potential. I guess I can look at that. A lot of potential damage output coming out. We'll see how big this dungeon is too. I might be able to get a pretty good amount of experience pretty fast. You know what I actually want to do? This is really cheap to upgrade. Oh, this is only giving me 5% per. Too bad. Okay, it's not worth improving that anymore.
Everybody, remember your training.
A decisive win with minimal casualties.
Arcana sword. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll allow myself to use stuff that I pick up in chests, just not purchase stuff. That Arcana sword's really crazy. So what does this do? Oh my god, this enters the cathedral. So there's an entryway to the cathedral here, which is pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Now the reason that I am spamming Hammer of Might is that Hammer of Might still limits on my X. and I need to spam X in order to get the EXP bonus back up. I could actually, if I want, I'm gonna set Ace on her. And give her the Terror Knight thing, which is funny. She's the instructor and the Terror Knight. I guess it actually makes a degree of sense in this context because of the fact that Valiant Mail is actually weaker than the Elemental Leather that I've had on this like entire time. This Elemental Leather is OP as hell. It's kind of amusing just how weak like the defense stats are. When you consider that like I've had this for I don't know, like a quarter of the game now. And there was really no point where it felt super OP.
That was it?
And let's see here.
Hopefully I can be of assistance.
Get off with it! Ready to freeze!
No one listens. Listen, I'm trying to help.
Each time I hit you with 1.6.
Just as I expected.
Emerson, I'll try to help.
Shadowless Strike!
I want to help. We did it!
We've done it. Enemy elimination.
That's interesting. We got a laser oscillator from that thing. Well, we will see how things go. We're continuing on, and hopefully we are able to handle the battles here. Swordsman's Manual 8. I'm gonna try air raid. Yeah, it's funny because this berserk thing basically drops my defense to 0, but you'd never be able to tell the difference between the damage values that these people are taking. In practice, defense values relative to attack values are so insignificant that
This shouldn't be too much of a challenge.
can't even tell what your defense is there. I wonder if there would be a way to myself more.
Could have been worse, I guess. I'm not ready to retire yet.
Like, there might be a way to get more defense. But if there is, I don't know it. I'd need a lot more defense, probably, in order to actually meaningfully impact the amount of damage that people are taking. Okay, there is a save point nearby, so that's good.
This shouldn't be too much of a problem.
That was a piece of cake. What can I say?
Hardly worth it.
Feels good to be so strong.
Oh, vitality. I get it. That's actually a really cute pun that I didn't notice until now because I was reading it as Vitalitea or something like that. So it's like, it didn't occur to me that it's just vitality, as in like tea, that gives you vitality. That's very amusing. I approve. I approve of all puns. Well, maybe not all puns, but I approve of most puns. I approve of all puns that work. And vitality definitely works. Because sometimes people try to make a pun, but it doesn't work because the words don't actually sound the same.
What do you want?
I'm pleasantly surprised you made it this far. Such magnificent specimens. Yes. You'll be perfect for the new, more thorough experiments I've been designing.
More experiments? People aren't playthings, you know.
You say that, but without us, your Simba form there wouldn't exist. In truth, we deserve your gratitude, not your malice.
Are you even capable of thinking of others?
Please, don't get incensed over nothing. It'll adversely affect the results and ruin all my hard work.
Yeah, think of someone else for a change, Miki. Oh, cool. We've already seen a lot of these. So Eye of the Beholder's coming out. I don't know who it's on. So we're going to make sure that she stays far the hell away. So the other thing that we need to do...
Leave the fighting to us. We need to
It seems to be taking damage, which is good.
conserve your energy.
All right, bring it.
No. Alright, so it looks like it's using dry eye. Nobody's actually on the side, so use fairy light. And luckily, we know, like, we intimately understand how to fight this boss. This is a boss that we've fought a million times before. We know how it works. He is probably dead.
Not half bad at all. So much faster than expected. Record how long that took.
I'll get right to it.
I'm just gonna keep spamming this because I feel like he's paralyzed. Wow, Raise Dead takes a long time to cast. Are you looking at me? Nope. It's just going to be straight ahead because he's targeting something he's out of his range. Shame, son.
Are you positive there wasn't any issues with the civil war? Yeah. Party's like a perfect like that.
No, son. Oh, God. Why are you standing so close again?
These figures are
Them dodges.
higher than the subject's previous test, sir. You're telling me their prowess on the battlefield has already improved?
At this rate, it doesn't look good.
No. Oh. This can't be. We should leave. Yes.
Okay. Oh, she's paralyzed. That's not good. Toasted. And we got 41,000 EXP. So we've got triple EXP coming in again, so we're in okay shape on the EXP front. We're going to go ahead and backtrack. We didn't really use too much in the way of resources there. Particularly because we weren't directly controlling Anne, so the fight just kind of dragged a bit. We controlled her for a short period of time, but not the whole fight. So when I want to play safe, I can pretty much control Miki, and as long as the enemy doesn't have the ability to insta-gib her with a long-range spell that is not like simple to dodge. Okay, let's be honest. If it can kill her at range, I'm in trouble because of the fact that when she's casting spells, she's completely vulnerable. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to change up my rolls a bit because I'm pretty sure, yeah, she has this ability. I need to remove that from her and give it to her. And she doesn't really need the intelligence increase. Excuse me. So she can benefit from having her intelligence be a little higher. I don't remember what it was called. I'm actually going to give her Enchanter. Because that's actually a really, really high increase to her int.
Why can't they already protect everyone?
I'm without limits.
Okay, so the goal here I don't know if there's going to be another one of the things up front. But we'll see. On the plus side, the chests are pretty much exclusively giving us exactly what we need. Boop. Boop. I think it's worth more
just as I expected.
Boost.
I refuse to stop here.
We get another extrication ring. Speaking of which, for some reason I thought the extrication ring was the MP regen one, but it's not, so. It's called a fairy ring, I think? CQC program Delta. See if he has anything useful though. I actually like the idea of gravity bullet. I think I'm gonna give him that. Because gravity bullet doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, but the key is that it drags the enemies toward each other. And if you can drag the enemies to each other, that actually is very, very valuable. Does she have a mana regen thing? I think there was a roll that gives mana regen. Okay, I'm actually going to take this away from him and give him Assassin. Them counters. That one happened because it was close enough that it could immediately counter as opposed to having to approach and then counter. Because the previous one countered directly underneath me. So we got robots.
We shouldn't have any problems as long as we stay close.
I'm actually going to respond to the counters from these are too dangerous. These being the giant robots. I'm actually okay in terms of
the more skillful I get, the more charming I become.
not business. I don't need to straight shooter. What was I saying? Oh, I don't need to worry about accumulating bonus anymore. I still can do it, because Hammer of Might is still reasonably good, even if you're attacking with a weak version that is less effective. It's still pretty good. That said, though, I think that overall I'm better off swapping because this is going to do way more damage to bosses. And it's not maxed out yet, so I should probably try to do that. Just by using it as many times as possible. This is manual 7. I think I've already had that and used it.
We shouldn't have any problems, as long as we stay sharp.
Yeah, one of the cool things about these Avengers is that they don't actually shoot a projectile. They cause an explosion on the floor that's implied to be coming from a projectile. And what that means is that you can be standing directly in between the thing and where it's hitting and not actually take any damage. Because I've seen that in the past. Ooh, there we go. So, no, plus 714? Seriously? Okay, well. Yahoo for plus 95% damage. This Berserker thing is crazy. Alright, so she should be in good shape, but what I want to do, I want to figure out. I don't think she actually has an accessory equipped, which is. I think she does. She has a fairy band and she has an attack bracelet. So we're going to save again. We've got our resources filled up again. We have access to that shopkeeper that we don't care about. He doesn't sell crafting materials, does he? Oh, are we already there? You missed something, didn't you? We didn't get a weapon for her, and we didn't get a weapon for her. What is this crap? Okay, I'm going to take a look at what I can make. In terms of, Blue Talisman.
It's ready.
So, I would need more meteorite if I'm going to do this, but unfortunately, I don't have what I need. Alright, so we're going to continue on.
Wait, this again?
I must admit, you're all brimming with puissance. Will that puissance, however, aid you against my new subject? I know I'll enjoy finding out.
Cut the crap.
Look, guy, all we want is an audience with the General as soon as possible.
That's the new
Sorry,
subject.
but I can't let you do that.
Oh,
the
never
General is a valued financial contributor to our research. You'll simply have to participate in our experiments a little longer.
The way that sound is handled by games is holy shit. She has wings.
Feria! That's not her. Feria has a different space-time symbological psi wave pattern.
How very discerning of you to notice. As you have likely surmised, this one is a clone. but don't assume that she's any less formidable than her prototype. But perhaps you should be less concerned with her identity and more concerned that she has her sights on you.
Despicable. We've only ever succeeded in producing one of these. You think this is a good idea? Won't the General be angry with us if we use it without his permission?
Not if we win, he won't.
Yes, but if we lose...
No matter. Let the experiment begin, I say.
So this is Faria's clone. We're doing like 30,000. Since she's actually vulnerable to stun, I'm going to just keep using Hammer of Might. Because Hammer of Might can just stun her and then she can't do anything for a while. And silence. So we're just going to keep spamming Fairy Light. You have Cure Condition, right? You do not have Cure Condition. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cast Cure Condition. I like how she's the only one who's silenced. The Cure Condition is out. Now the reason that I swapped off of Anne in the first place was actually to save my thing in case she gets blown up. So 40,000 EXP. Where'd she go?
Furia! My dear sister!
You've done it now, Thoris! How dare you waste a perfectly good clone!
My apologies, General Alma. Please, let me build another to atone for this most egregious of
That won't be
errors.
necessary, for I now know you're an imbecile who chooses personal gain over the greater good. I have no need for someone with neither morals nor dignity.
Sir, please wait.
Based on your past achievements, however, perhaps you deserve one last chance.
You don't mean to... No! Please, sir! I beg of you! Don't! Anything but that!
Everyone brace for space-time transcension.
Whatever that means. What happened to the clone? Is she okay? Is she dead? Was she sentient?
Nowhere real, it seems. I'd say they use space-time symbology to create this place. It's probably a parallel dimension.
Dimension? Bingo. This whole dimension is emitting waves only given off when space-time symbology activates.
I could get used to this. Oh, how good it feels to be the pinnacle of progress. I don't give a damn about Alma anymore. Now that I'm in this form, I don't need him to make the universe mine.
Never get really at.
What was the abomination? Is he guarding? Are you going for this? The other thing that I need to be doing that I wasn't doing before is Jesus Christ. That was a lot of damage. Oh, Jesus. That hurt. That was a cool attack. Are you casting? You're not casting. Why are you standing still? Doing nothing.
Everybody feel the power.
He's casting this. And we're standing in the right place. So that attack is all about standing in the right place. So I have her cast Raise Dead. Why are you standing inches away from the boss? Jesus. Okay, so you need to cast Raise Dead. You're probably gonna die because I'm a dope who's trying to cast Raise Dead while.
More data is required. I won't bury you yet.
He's not casting that other thing. We're gonna cast the Fairy Light again. Problem. She's dead, I think. Okay, so I need to get her back up. So I need to get her the hell out of here. Okay. I'm gonna go in for shit, your stuff, okay?
Hold weapon.
So you are in a perfectly fine spot. You need to get the hell out of here.
What an utter disgrace to humanity that guy was.
I like how we spent that entire battle just spamming spells, and Miki still got like 90% mana.
What say you, Captain Kenny? Is this distorted cosmos not the perfect stage upon which to enact our final encounter?
You never miss a chance to show off, do you?
There may be 7 of you now, but how many will there be when you reach me? Hmm? If you even do, that is.
I believe he wants us to pay him a visit.
Then let's take him up on that.
Yeah, let's take him up on that. Let's go, guys. We can do this. So... oh, there's no map. What? Oh, well. We can save the game. Okay, so we're all saved up. We just fought 2 boss battles, so I was really worried about the fact that I was unable to save. So, what do we need to do now? I guess we need to go beat up the final boss. So, I think that based on what I'm seeing so far, as long as I continue to accumulate the EXP that I'm gaining, I should be fine. Looks like, oh, this might be just boss fight after boss fight. It's an interesting idea.
Our enemy struck.
Jesus, okay. Okay, we need to move. That's not what I want you to cast. Okay, so my goal here is to get all the spellcasters. There we go. She's in a perfect spot. I like her. Her location is good. Okay, so we already got Sacred Paint off. And then if all the melees are behind... wow, that thing is squishy. So that's not an actual boss. I was thinking that was a boss, but it's not.
Yep. I'm okay.
It just hits like one.
Oh yeah! Look at me now!
Okay, I'm actually at 5, so I can...
More challenges lie ahead.
Looks like I'm gaining on my father.
So we've got 2 of these things. I didn't unlock them. Just got the level up in one of them.
This shouldn't be too much of a problem.
It's kind of funny the difference in damage between her and everybody else. Like, I finish off one, and then the other one is still at like 90% life.
Just as I was.
Ooh, we just got 2 meteorites from that.
Okay, let's get down to this.
Oh, there's a fourth. I didn't notice it.
Now my clothes are all dirty.
I'm okay.
So, I don't know how far we have to go. We don't have a map of this area.
We shouldn't have any problems.
One, two, three. Okay, so we've got a giant dragon thing. Let's take a look at my... So this is probably to make meteorites. I need Lazard's flasks. If I can get Lazard's flasks, then I can make this material, and I'm pretty sure that this material here is going to be orichalcum. And if I can make orichalcum, I'll be able to be doing some really cool shit. Okay, so this is like the highest tier weapon that I can make with crafting for her, so I'm going to try it. Okay, that's not what I was expecting at all. Okay, it's not bad. It's just not what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a rod.
We shouldn't have any problems, as long as we stay sharp.
No one likes getting hurt. Mr. Soldier, I could help you. It's okay.
I'm gonna hammer him right out. Another hammer right out that one. 1, 2, 3.
I'm without limits.
So we got some dragon scales, a fire gem, and we have a save point. I like how it shows up on my map, but nothing else does. So this is looking like it's the final battle. I'm gonna save the game. We will hopefully be able to handle this. I think we should be okay. The biggest concern is going to be if there's some overwhelming damage output. So I'll be okay unless I get horribly butchered.
Oh, how I've waited to see you in person rather than through a screen, Captain Kenny.
Don't get ahead of yourself, General.
You have seen him in person before.
Little girl, have you no intention of returning to my side? And you, whelp, you wish to join me?
I want to be with Fidel and Miki, not you.
Who'd ever take the side of a man who uses children as tools? People's lives aren't toys for you to play with.
The time for talk has ended. Feria, bestow your power upon me!
Feria. Feria!
Vice Director!
Yes, sir.
Feria! No, sis. I have no sister. Your orders, General. Feria.
Lend me your power, minion! Victory here shall prove the veracity of my creed! Yeah.
So he's dead. Okay, he's invincible right now. So my goal is to just stay away from him until they swap to the person who needs to stay alive, huh?
Attacks don't work on you.
Nor does signature chi. He's surrounded by a force field that's connected to another dimension via space-time symbology. This effectively makes him immune to any type of attack we could throw at him.
Then how can he reach us? It doesn't make sense.
The answer to that is, how should I know?
What's the matter? I thought you were supposed to show me the error of my ways. Thanks to you, we were able to solve one of space-time symbology's many mysteries. In order for her powers to activate, certain types of hormones must be secreted in the subject's brain. For example, your subject secreted the necessary hormones when experiencing strong emotions, such as trust and love.
I love how he keeps trying to me.
We can easily replicate the process. This can be accomplished with mind control, or by injecting the necessary hormones directly into her system. Take a good long look. This is the face of the man who tamed space-time symbology.
I feel bad relying on her again. But we have no other choice.
He seems to be going exclusively after the character that's being controlled by me, so I can just easily dodge everything that he does.
Get up. Get up, Relia. You're just gonna leave your sister like this? I'll catch you no matter how many times you fall. Just believe in me and get up. Take control of your own future with Varia.
I believe in you more than anyone in the universe.
Go turn Varia back to her normal self.
I'll do it. I'll be the one to save my sister.
What?
Okay, time to throw everything we've got at him.
Get wrecked. Yeah, he's casting a spell. Okay, so he's now no longer doing what he was doing before, which was basically just ignoring anyone who isn't the person who's actively controlled. So we're gonna swap to her. Just have her walk away. Like, please go away, please. Oh god, no! Okay. Mickey! Oh, he's stunned! Haha, get wrecked, fool. Okay, so let's go ahead and, fairy?
Well, now we know this will not be a dull affair. Very well. It is time. Behold the results of our latest symbological
Still got the stars on his head. She's like, He's going invincible again.
Signet replication?
Oh, that's interesting.
Your lives are now
Doesn't blow.
How enjoyable it is to command such immense strength with such little effort. Sorry, I'm not used to this number.
So he's at full again.
My apologies. If I annihilate you.
This isn't even my final form, bro. Okay, so you just did the same exact amount of damage as you did in the previous one, so I'm not too concerned about you. This can't possibly be his final form. Nope.
So much power.
Good try, though.
Mr. Soldier.
Why is he easier than the previous bosses? I mean, this has to not be his final form, because if it was his final form, it would be really just sad and depressing. But, like, even then, he's really... He's very, very far behind that previous boss. That previous boss was dramatically harder than this. Like, the amount of damage that it was doing was night and day compared to this. Like, he's doing low enough damage that I'm actually swapping his damage. Sidekick. Technically not sidekick. Okay, there we go. He's starting to do something. But like, I was messing around for a long time there. Oh god. Alright, so he can actually stun, which is good for him. I'm actually running low on mana. Pulling her back. Unfortunately, she has nothing to fall back on. Okay, so final form? Question mark? Maybe? Let's hope so, because I'm running low on mana on two different key personnel.
Vice Director!
Please, sir, if we go any further, we'll obliterate the subject's gestalt.
Do it! How dare you! Get out of my way, you worthless cretin!
I like how he can do this with nobody, like, interfering at all.
No, sis.
That's why you don't let them just randomly press buttons.
Why did I not do this in the first place? Such consummate power coursing through my veins. How invigorating! With your last breaths, prostrate yourselves before me!
We've got to save Renoa, guys! Or not Renoa, what's her name? Something, really, you are invincible.
Try to neutralize their force field one more time, kiddo, please!
You can use the same method as before.
If I get rid of the force field, you're all going to attack my sister. Right? No. I can't do it. I just can't. I hurt my own sister. What should I do? I don't know.
Amelia's power has gone erratic.
Oh shit, okay, well there we go.
Let's finish this! Never strike!
No, no! Oh god! Okay, I need to swap to someone else so that the person who I absolutely need to keep alive is not the one who's taking all the damage. That's unpleasant. It's like one person survives.
Aurelia, do you want your sister to be like that forever? I
You can do it. You still have an objective to complete.
I applaud your will to rise, Whelp. Too bad you'll just be cut back down.
Open your eyes, Feria, please!
No!
Aurelia, I beg of you. Please, please kill me.
Don't run away! Fight! Fight against his control! Break free of it!
Silence, Whelp!
I believe in you, Aurelia. I always have. And I know you can rise up with Feria if you truly want to.
We can beat this man if we fight together, Feria. I believe in you, sis. And I believe in both of you. I do.
You bastard, Fidel! I see now that you were my real enemy all along!
That, and your executioner.
That's interesting, considering that it wasn't Fidel that actually did that. That was Aurelia. The relationship between Feria and her sister is what caused that to happen. But sure, we'll blame Fidel. I mean, Fidel, you know, was, you know, useful, but it's just like, oh, you know, you were my real enemy all along. This is really nice.
Everybody feel the power!
So who's using that? Somebody. It's a lot of buffs on him, unfortunately.
Everybody feel the power!
It would be really nice if I had given somebody the thing that strips buffs with
Everybody
that.
feel the power!
This guy is not doing very much damage yet. I figured he probably has mental attack patterns. Okay, we need to swap off so that we can keep our stuff on top. We might even get lucky. Yes! Haha! Overfall. Okay. You're not casting anything, damn it. That's a problem. She's definitely gonna go down.
Keep your head to the Fiore!
So that is a problem. He's using Seraphic Rebuke on me. Okay, Overfall comes out. We need to get Raised Dead on Fiore.
Victor? No! Fidel! Fidel!
It's funny because for the longest time there was like no damage coming out. And then just all of a sudden, all the damage. We're gonna get Fidel up because he's very tanky. Shit, we could go through. He's charging Amelia. Yep. Damn it. So, got myself hit by that. And Emerson is down, which I don't care that much about. I don't like the fact that he's looking at me, but I'm like, oh god. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I got that heal on first. Okay, so... I can't cast Fairy Light if everyone is at full HP already, which is some serious bullshit, in all honesty. I'm actually in particular, I want her and Miki to be basically on opposite ends of the world. So the positioning that I have there, I'm like pointing it out as if you guys can see my fingers. But the positioning that I have of these two is, I think, exactly where I want it right now. And of course, she just... Like, there's no reason for you to go close to this enemy. It's just... Okay, so... Bad idea. That was a mistake. She's way too close again, so... Why is Fairy healing into the Fairy Light? I should potentially... You know what? For setting her to manual and stuff. There's no reason for me to not have them on manual. They're just gonna be doing stupid things if I them. Fortunately, he now has his attack increased. Oh, she has to get really close in order to use her normal attack. That's the problem. Okay, so she can't just blast people from infinite range with her normal attack. Let me go ahead and get this on again. And I'm not going to cast anything with her, but with her, I'll just start spamming Dark Devourer. Oh shit, what was supposed to that too? Never mind, I'm going to stop casting it. I'll cast something that's long range.
Rip them to pieces like Shadow.
That actually might be fatal. Okay, let's see. So we'll hope that he is going to survive. He does. I'm hoping that the healing gets off first. So we're going to use... Oh, nice. The timing on that was perfect. Basically, the fairy light landed in between the initial hit. And I'm actually gonna turn her off of manual because she's... So, oh, that's great! It looks like you can queue up attacks. So you can set the character to do multiple things in a row. So for instance, I can set Fairy Light, and then Fairy Light? Is she gonna now cast it twice? Okay, so she's stunned. Let's... Perfect. So I'm just gonna...
Everybody feel the power.
Okay, so... Fortunately, I really wish that you could start casting a spell when someone was an invalid target. Because if I could cast Raise Dead when I anticipate someone's going to die, as opposed to having to wait until they actually die, or if, as an example, I could start casting a heal even though nobody's injured right now, that would be pretty nice. Cast healing.
Fairy light.
We should be able to kill them combo. Yep. There he goes. Got it.
We did win, didn't we?
Yes, that we did.
His strength is dwindling.
His wave patterns are getting astonishingly small.
Ludicrous. Kronos is destined to crumble. Should I perish here?
Brawn alone can't win all wars.
Likewise, my fascist assailants. I'll be observing your lot from on high. Repudiation to you. Honor to Kronos!
Where's the guy? She wasn't in the center there when... Yeah, well, there she is now.
Thanks a lot. It didn't back down at all. I did all I could. Me and Relia.
Yeah. You prevailed.
Promise you will. Look after my baby sister?
I certainly do. Relia deserves a good life. A caring, maybe mentoring dad. Like Beryl was when I was young.
Relia, I'm so sorry. What's more, I should thank you. My wish was answered due to your... grow up and be... the joyous girl I couldn't...
Varia, no!
Don't be so sad. Since I'll be with you in your heart.
The poor girl.
Don't be so sad. Since I'll be with you in your heart.
Captain's log. Space date, November 7, 537. Our mission in the Feycreed system has concluded. The death of its leader, General Alma, the rebellion collapsed in upon itself. As the coup d'etat ended in abject failure, the Kronos government was able to regain its authority. Days later, President Mutal declared that Kronos would join the Pan-Galactic Federation, thus swelling our ranks and leaving one fewer enemy. I have a feeling, however, that there will be repercussions from this incident that last for quite some time. In my opinion, it is now abundantly clear that the Federation is at a major crossroads. It is only a matter of time, I assume, before we must re-evaluate the form we wish the Federation to henceforth take. Kronos was officially inducted into the Pan-Galactic Federation, and while the Kronos incident that engendered the Alliance was certainly noteworthy, it was not the only seminal event of Space Date 537. The year also became known for various progressive reforms, which would serve as defining points of Federation policy for years to come. Feycreed's fate regarding the Federation was officially decided today. Because the planet is not sufficiently civilized, it will not be recognized as a legitimate member of the Federation. As we influenced the planet to a great extent, though, it was designated a protectorate.
Oh boy.
I plan to ask Command to appoint Victor the Inspector General of Feycreed. I cannot imagine there is anyone else in the galaxy better suited for the job.
Protectorates are...
Now that I mention one Feycreed,
not helping.
I should probably record what happened to the rest. Everyone involved in the incident immigrated to Earth. After all they'd experienced of the outside world, we couldn't simply let them return to an underdeveloped planet. Besides, they unanimously decided to come of their own accord, which is what I was hoping for anyway. Miki's currently studying her heart out to become a science officer. According to Anne, she's got a real knack for this sort of thing. Already understanding the basics of symbology doesn't hurt either. If there's anything that holds her back, though, it's reading and writing. You can't be too hard on her, as she didn't grow up with the Terran syllabary. But she still has a long road ahead of her. Victor was able to enlist in the Federation's military, and based upon his distinguished record, he was appointed as an instructor. Considering he's a citizen of an underdeveloped planet, this is a historic accomplishment for him. Personally, I'd like to see Command put him in charge of overseeing his home planet, but the decision ultimately rests with him. Thanks in part to an endorsement from Dr. Crew, Fiore was accepted as a researcher in the newly built Symbological Genetics Laboratory on Moonbase. I say accepted, but the whole facility was basically established for her sake. Her knowledge surpasses even our own scientists in some areas, so I assume they're more than happy to take advantage of her genius. There's no way they won't make at least a few breakthroughs with her working on their team. All is quiet on the Anne front, as she continues to work as a science officer aboard the Charles D. Gold. Her looks are what sealed the deal for me when hiring her. And I'll be damned if she isn't one capable science officer.
This guy.
Once I'm finally given my new assignment, I won't hesitate to bring her along. As for me, the myriad and valiant deeds I performed in quelling the Kronos Rebellion earned me a promotion. Nothing's official yet, but word around the water cooler is that I'll become an admiral. To think, me, with my own fleet.
Sounds
What's
terrifying.
more, the ship they'll assign me won't be any ordinary one. It'll supposedly be equipped with some rather snazzy technology, of an experimental and gravitic warp kind. I guess this goes to show, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few rules.
I've apparently entered a blocked scene. So gameplay recording has been paused. It's just the screen saying Star Ocean. It's just the title screen. It's not the title screen, but it's showing the title. So I guess that's it. Okay, that's actually really amusing to me. I don't know. It went through the entire ending, which, you know, would be spoiler heavy or whatever. Like, I could understand why you wouldn't want someone to show the ending. But the part where it actually, like, this is the most important part of the game, where it shows the people who actually made it, and that part is blocked. So, apparently, that's incredibly funny. So, is it seriously blocking the footage of this? Let me take a look. So, you know, I mean, it's just showing, like, random little pieces of the thing. It's actually showing some very specific people with very large gaps between them. It's only gone through, like, probably 10 or 15 people by this point. So anyway, I enjoyed this game. I thought it was a lot of fun. There were a few, like, story points that I didn't, you know, think were super well done. I think that the father subplot just kind of got dropped, and then someone said, "Oh, well, we need to do this father subplot," so it got picked up at complete random. But aside from that, I think it was good. The whole story fit well, and yeah, it's not showing the gameplay recording. It's just showing a bunch of smiley faces for some reason. So anyway, all those smiley faces are the person. So, let's see. Can I actually skip this? Because I feel like I should skip this, because I know I never skip the credits. I always have them, but, like, if it's not going to...
Fidel's now diligently studying to become an officer in the Federation's military. Truth be told, we'd already accept him as a foot soldier, but he says he won't settle for anything less than being a crewman on a battleship. Now, I'm not one to balk at lending my friend a hand, but this is a battle he needs to fight on his own. Prove that I was right to believe in you, and get your butt up here, Fidel.
snack's ready.
Excellent. Be there when this is done.
You'll burn out studying like that.
Miki, you barely try at all. I bet you'll never transcend Emerson or Anne like that.
What about just being your wife?
What did you say?
Nothing. Nothing important. I said we should both try our hardest.
Yeah, let's. Great. Finished. I'll take that snack now.
She's like, I think that I'm much better at being your wife than Emerson is. Well, that was kind of interesting. So that's kind of a throwback to one of the potential endings in one of the other games, which is kind of cool. I'm curious, like, whether that's... I think that that's probably based off of affection values, and I'd say that probably she's the most likely person that you can end up with at the end, but probably not the only one. So it looks like we have finished the game. I don't know what the post-game content is, and okay, so it is continuing. It's like pressing buttons trying to load the data you would send. Okay, so it didn't give me like a post-game save as far as I can tell, though I will check it quick and see if there is a thing there. Load. Doesn't say anything about post-game. Okay. Well, so that's going to be it for right now. Now that I've finished the game, I'm going to look up like what the post-game content is, stuff like that, and I'll either get into that if it looks like there's sufficient amount of it and it's interesting, because the gameplay for this game is just as fun as any of the previous games. You know, it's fun, it's entertaining to get into, and you know, I had a good time with it. I was pleasantly surprised. The character of Emerson is a total douche, but you know, that's because he's basically a copy of Captain Kirk, and Captain Kirk is definitely a product of his time. So anyway, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure. Well, actually, it might not be for today, but for right this second, and we need to get out of this drilling at any rate. But next time we will either continue on with this, if there's a bunch of post-game content to do, or we'll do something else. So, later folks.